Hi, Tony Selzo here. Welcome to Zipline. You know, the Zipline is all about bringing cutting-edge new technology companies to market. Right out of the state of Indiana, we have some of the most gifted engineers going, and I've got one of them online here today. Walle from Givelify, a new mobile giving platform. And when I say platform, I really mean an ecosystem, a way to connect giver and receiver in a way not even done in the mobile environment before. What is Givelify, Walle?
Thank you very much, Tony, and thank you for having us on the Zipline today. We're really honored. Givelify, concisely, is the fastest and easiest way to give a donation at any time, from anywhere, at any place. Literally, in as few as 3 taps,
right.
You're moved to make a donation. You pull out your smartphone,
right.
And you can complete your donation right there and then.
So whether you're in church, whether you're moved through an auction, whether or not you've had a message through TV, you can actually manage your gift right through your mobile device and then track it. And then yet again, the receiver has a dashboard and insight and connectivity to the giver in a way never done before.
Well, Tony, I don't think you could have stated it anymore. In talking about a given platform, there are 2 players here. Mm-hmm. There's the giver, mm-hmm. and there's the receiving organization. And what mm-hmm. Givelify has done here is to provide a very easy way for both of them to connect with each other, right. both satisfying their individual needs. Right. As a giver, we'll feel very good when we connect with the message and we are able to give financially to support the cause. Mm-hmm. It gives us a lot of satisfaction and we feel good about ourselves. Right. And a lot of times in today's cashless society, with the use of the checkbook diminishing every day, increasingly we're finding ourselves in situations where we're motivated to give, but the tool to give is not within our reach. And if you're one of these organizations, you're really struggling with the fact that you're spending a lot of money to get your message out there, whether it's in the form of a TV ad, mm-hmm. or you put up a grand fundraising gala somewhere at a very expensive venue. Right. And there you are with people who are really charged and motivated to want to give, but they right. don't have a means of doing it while they're still emotionally connected with you. That's the problem Givelify solves.
So you're really catching them in that moment, and you're also giving people who give a lot the ability to track for tax purposes, you know, all the giving they're doing. They're also connecting all that into one place. I mean, it's almost like eBay meets giving, right? I mean, it's kind of like you're really creating that ecosystem, and doing it on the mobile device is allowing the opportunities, greater opportunities, for those great organizations that need giving to also connect and find other potential support that they normally wouldn't have, right? I mean, those more opportunities are increasing giving. Is that correct?
No, Tony, I mean, I think you nailed this. So when you look at the options that are out there, if you're one of these organizations and you're seeking donations, a lot of them have online giving. It's great, phenomenal. But the problem is we don't always carry our laptops and computers with us to everywhere we're going. Mm-hmm. But guess what we always have on us? Our smartphones. Right. We're checking emails on it all the time, right? And so why can't it not bail us out when we're moved to give? And if you're one of these organizations, we appreciate the fact that now you have people coming to your event or who are hearing your message. Right. And all they're doing is downloading the app and you're receiving donations from them. But not only are you doing that, you're getting all this information that provides you insights into their given behavior. So in the future, when you need to communicate with them, when you need to go back, you know exactly the kind of causes and the messages that resonates with them, and so you can hit them with targeted gift requests.
Now, Walle, I want to change gears on you a little bit, and I know that you've had another technology company for quite some time. What inspired you to get this going, to start this idea, to give it life?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question, and I get asked this question all the time. Mm-hmm. I have another technology company, and most recently I was asked, at what point in time the Control Z, which was my other company, pivoted into mobile giving? Mm-hmm. And I said, Givelify it was not a deliberate act of pivot. Givelify actually came from a personal experience I had at my local church where I had online giving set up, but every now and then I'm sitting doing service, especially when the church needs to raise additional funds for things like missionary trips. I would want to support the church.
Right.
Each time I'll reach for my wallet, I'll probably have $1 or $2 in there.
Right. You don't carry cash like half the world, right?
My checkbook, I probably haven't seen it in years, so it's not even an option. And a lot of times I would promise myself when I get back home, I'll get on the computer and make an additional donation, in addition to the recurring donation I already had set up online. Well, guess what, Tony? I found myself sitting in church the following week. I haven't cashed in on the promise. And I promised myself, well, I'll make it up the following week. And after about the third, fourth week, I asked myself, wow. I'm just going to keep going in this cycle. Meanwhile, I have this smartphone on me. I almost carried on me.
And I really want to just chime in on that, because I think what is so important, when people think about apps and they think about the mobile environment and they say, well, we've got a responsive site, or our site works in a mobile, works in the mobile environment, or reconfigs. That's not really an app. I mean, that's not really taking advantage of right place, right time, right moment. And I just want you to integrate into what you're saying. We use a lot of these travel sites to book our travel. We're doing a lot of that for growing a business, as I'm sure you are. And we use a couple of them. We use Expedia. We use the couple of Travelocity and the other ones. Right. But we downloaded and started using Expedia's app. And I got Expedia on the phone, and I hadn't booked my hotels. And if you're ever doing the San Diego to LA trip, you never know what kind of traffic you're going to run into on a Friday. And it was crazy. It's literally an hour and a half drive that I was on the road for 7 hours. And rather than staying on the road, instead of going in, I just pulled up Expedia, and within 5 seconds and 3 clicks, I had a hotel 2 miles away from my next exit, and I ended up staying there. And I think what people don't understand is that app is on accident building more business for Expedia because it's getting that 5% or it's getting that 10%. It's creating that opportunity. I mean, when you go back like 2 decades, there were businesses that were cash, and they would go only cash, and then they would take credit cards, and they would see 15 and 20% sales growth, because people would spend money through cards that they normally wouldn't spend on the phone. And that's really all you're doing, is lining up this ability by removing friction in the marketplace. I mean, isn't that what, at its most basic essence, isn't that what you're doing with Givelify, is removing just another barrier of friction to allow people to give and to connect with the organizations they want to support?
No, Tony, you really nailed it. And when we started Givelify, we bet that if we made it easier for people to give, they will give more. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We have different organizations coming to us and say, Walle, what we've noticed is people who've not been as consistent with their giving. With Givelify, what we're seeing is a complete change in behavior. And the reason is this, Tony, just like you said, the big difference between using an app and a mobile optimized website, it's a very big difference. In Givelify's case, if you're sitting in a church, or if you're sitting at a fundraising banquet, say at the JW Marriott, for example, because Givelify is a true native app, it's able to take advantage of your phone's GPS capabilities to pinpoint and identify the churches or the event that you are at, eliminating the need for you to be doing manual searches or trying to memorize URLs, or memorizing complicated usernames and passwords, which is one of the huge benefits of Givelify. Now, as a giver, one of the things that we hear a lot from givers is, look, I don't want us to have a separate username and password that I got to use on my church website. A separate username and password with different complexity requirements that I got to use at the Red Cross website. A separate username and password that I got to use on the politician I want to support on his website. Then at the end of the year, I'm all going crazy trying to remember all these different passwords. Whether to send me a statement or not, I don't know what the true status of my giving is. And that's one of the problems that Givelify eliminates, is one username, one password you can use to give to any organization that in the United States. And more importantly, also, is people say, well, there's text to give. That's mobile. You're right. But how many times do we actually remember that SMS code that we got to text $5 to?
Right.
At the end of the year, when it's time for you to file your taxes, you got to go look for your phone bills from months and months ago and sift through each line to see where that donation was actually pulled through your cell phone bill. How inconvenient is that? Versus
Right.
a 3-tap give experience, a 1-tap see your given history experience. And
Right.
that's what Givify is all about.
Taking convenience of the mobile device, optimizing for the giving experience, and helping people connect and move more money to great organizations. I mean, right here in the state of Indiana, Wally, you've been Zip.
Thank you for having us, Tony.
Yeah.